kind and gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, first of all, I want to thank you for every blessing that you have given us. All we have to do is look around and see the beautiful area that we live in. Lord, you told us to be good stewards of this town and of this area. And Lord, we beg to do that. Lord, give us the wisdom and the strength to do what's right in your eyes and not what's right in the world's eyes. And through everything we do, Lord, no matter what it is, good, bad, or indifferent, we'll make sure that we give you the glory and the honor now and forever. And I pray these things in our Lord Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alderman French. Alderman Anderson. Alderman Bellamy. Alderman Hobbs. Vice Mayor Messick. Alderman Parsley. All are present.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of December 5th? Meeting. Here's a second. Did I hear a second? It's been moved and second. Any corrections or additions to the minutes? If not, I'll go.
Alderman French.
Aye.
Alderman Anderson. Aye. Alderman Bellamy. Alderman Hobbs. Vice Mayor Messick. Alderman Parsley. It passes 6-0.
Thank you. Any correspondence?
None at this time.
Any comments from the citizens? If not, we'll move on to mayor comment. Was sad to hear that December 20th that Mike Niederhouse passed, and he served on the Manchester ECD board as well as so many gifts to our community, and we certainly just his family just sad to hear of him pass, and he was very much loved by this town and community. With that, we'll get into the committee and commission reports. Safety.
Here, we didn't meet in December, but our next scheduled meeting is for Monday, January 8th, and that'll be at 5 p.m. The police department has now received all 7 Dodge Durangos for the police vehicles, and we're anticipating Thursday a bid opening for the installation of the equipment in the vehicles. Also, we had 2 officers who graduated the Tennessee Law Training Academy and are now certified officers in the state of Tennessee. Manchester, and that was Jonathan Prager and Will Chatfield.
Finance.
Starting this year, our Finance Committee meetings will be the 3rd Tuesday of every month at 4 o'clock. So for this month, it will be on January the 23rd. Most of our discussion on our past meeting was about the impact fees, which went over during the work session and tonight's phone.
Water and sewer.
Our meeting is right here at 3 o'clock on Thursday, and as far as what's going on in the department, we just got our draft permit for the treatment plant. We're trying to work out some of those details, and then we're applying for a biosolids permit as well. And then also we televised a bunch of sewer about 2.5 miles of this past month.
Thank you. Recreation.
We're gearing up for the spring season. We're working on fall field improvements, adding infield mix. Working on Westwood Elementary or Westwood Middle School or Bakerwood Field on making improvements for the ball season starting in January. Thursday, the 17th of January, we had the bid opening for the outdoor area for ball field line and 88 improvements. And our next recognition will be on Thursday, the 11th.
Tourism,
Tourism week, Monday at 8 at 6 o'clock, we didn't have a December meeting.
planning and zoning.
Our regular call meeting on January 15th is not happening due to the holidays, so we will have a special call planning and zoning meeting on January 18th in the boardroom at 5:30. Some interesting news. My building inspector provided a temporary certificate of occupancy for a portion of Dog Foods today, and they are hoping for complete site completion by the end of the month.
That's good.
Information system,
We didn't have a meeting in December, but possibly in January we will.
historic zoning.
Historic Planning Commission meeting, regular call will also be a special call for next Thursday here in the boardroom at 5 o'clock.
We'll get into resolutions.
You skipped Mr. Cannon. Pardon? You skipped Mr. Cannon.
Oh, I'm sorry.
George, don't leave George out.
Thank you.
Our next meeting will be January 11th at 5:30 at the street department. We're going to start taking down all the Christmas decorations tomorrow and fill up on site. Trying to get caught up on the holiday schedule for the break.
But we're pretty well done with getting the right of ways down.
Yes, the mayor signed off on them today, the last few we like. So, we still like a couple more, but they don't, ain't really been.
They're at the end of the line. Right.
Sorry,
That's our.
I think you skipped one. Appreciate the board having to move it along. Now we're getting into resolutions and ordinances.
First resolution is a resolution to approve a contract in the amount of $67,250 with Southern Flooring Incorporated for Recreation Center Weight Room Floor Replacement, Project 102-184-04, sponsored by Alderman Anderson. And just for your information, this is a rebid from the first bid that we had gotten that they failed to perform after they were awarded the contract. And I'm proud to announce that we settled that bid bond issue today.
Do I hear a motion to approve Southern Flooring?
So
Do I hear a second? It's been moved and seconded to issue the job to Southern Flooring for $67,250. Any discussion on this?
This is the insurance pays for this, right?
that's correct. The insurance is going to pay the increased cost. It's about, what, AJ, about $7,000 more. The good thing is we don't owe the insurance subrogation on that, so.
It'll be minus our deductible, which you have to take out from the previous one, which is $1,000.
Any more discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Alderman French.
Aye.
Alderman Anderson.
Aye.
Alderman Bellamy. Alderman Hobbs. Vice Mayor Messick. Alderman Parsley. Motion carries 6-0.
Second resolution is a resolution to amend the bylaws of the Greater Manchester Economic Development Board, sponsored by Vice Mayor Messick. The only change to the bylaws, and Ms. Brittle's here if there's any questions, is to increase the membership of their board from I think it's 7 currently, but now the bylaws say up to 9, 7 to 9. And it was recommended by Mr. Trent, which is their legal advisor, relative to having vacancies such as Mr. Niederhauser passing away.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded that we will change the bylaws of Greater Manchester Economic Development Board. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. I would, so we currently have 7 members, 7 seats. 2 of those seats are non-voting seats. And I would rather the board entertain making those 2 seats, voting seats, rather than expanding to 9. I think 9's too big of a number. We talked about this when we implemented this from the beginning. And those voting seats are joint industrial, if I'm not mistaken, and also education. I think those 2 entities deserve a vote in that conversation. So rather than just adding 2 at large, I'd love for the board to consider just making those 2 non-voting seats voting seats.
And that is Dr. Vaughn, and the other one is.
It's a representative from the Joint Industrial Board. Is it you?
If I'm not mistaken, I do believe there are 7 voting seats right now.
Yes.
And the state statute for these recommends strongly to have 9 voting seats, not including organizations like myself. Not asking not to serve on anything, but I don't think it's standard practice for us to have a vote in that. But I defer to Mr. Trent and Katie's group for sure.
So the recommended change was to say no less than 7, no more than 9. So we have 7 right now. Well, we did have 7 voting members. But Attorney Trent recommended that if something happens like a death, like a resignation, then you're a non-existent board if you don't have 7 members, because that's what our bylaw says. So if you rewrite it, say no less than 7, no more than 9, that protects you from that happening. So we'd have somebody from education, Dr. Vaughn comes, and Stephen comes from the industrial board. They are non-voting members, but they're not included in that 7. That's your question.
So you're saying not to even have non-voting members?
I understand where Stephen wouldn't want to be a voting member himself, Mr. Crook. The Joint Industrial Board having a vote, I don't see a problem. And I think that there needs to be an education. I don't see a problem with education being represented. I'm indifferent to it. I also don't know, I mean, when a vacancy, this isn't the first vacancy. Unfortunately, this is 2 vacancies, unexpected. We do appoint someone relatively quickly. So, I just, either way, I'm fine with it either way, but I think that making those 2 non-voting seats, at least the representation from those voting would suffice. But
I've never understood the reason behind having a board member that couldn't vote.
Well, I know that Stephen brings a lot to the table when he's in there, whether he votes or not.
Do that no matter what. I'm in the corner.
And I know that when we had the last meeting that I attended, there was before, I think before Mike passed, there wasn't enough people that showed up that we could have a meeting. So you run into that, or you have to have enough for a quorum. So you want to make that a motion?
I mean, if there's any discussion on it, I'll make a motion, but again, I'm indifferent to it. I just feel like we're going. I felt like when we established this, the education ought to have them both, right? And then I don't see a problem with us continuing to build working relations with the industrial board through this. Because they're chartered very differently. They're chartered to focus on non-industrial development. So I just don't see that there's a true, if this was a true industrial board, I would see a conflict, where a conflict is coming to be, but I don't see where a conflict is coming to be. And if there was, recuse yourself.
We don't know though if Dr. Vaughn would feel comfortable voting on this. We don't know what his wishes are.
Did he represent the school board?
There's an education representative is the way it's worded, so it's not automatically Dr. Vaughn. And I understand, and I wouldn't want to put Mr. Cook or Dr. Vaughn in a position they're uncomfortable with. But I don't look at current board members. I look at the position. The position is an education representative and a joint industrial board representative. I just feel like those are two worthy units to have a vote. And if the board disagrees with that, I would follow that recommendation.
So, Katie, if you get 9 members, it takes 5 to have a quorum. Is that something that, I mean, I think you're telling us that you have problems having a quorum. So will this help that problem? Can you get 5 members at every meeting, you think?
Yes, and I think that's why his recommendation was to word it that way, no less than 7, no more than 9. So it wouldn't have to be necessarily 9 to change the quorum number. But yes, we will have to have new people appointed, but I'm confident that attendance will be.
And Ms. Riddle, I don't know so what we have before the board tonight is the bylaws that have been amended by ECD and recommended for approval by the board. So I think what Mr. French is talking about, Alderman French is talking about is, and maybe it is a good idea, but you're asking this board then to either not approve the bylaws that they just passed. So that would be how that would work. I don't think this board can by vote change their bylaws. You could return it to them and say, would you consider changing your bylaws to this? But I don't think this board has the power to change their bylaws by this vote. It just to help with the discussion. And I wasn't privy to the conversation with Mr. Trent, Ms. Riddle, and the other board members. And I can't profess to know why we have members on boards that can't vote. Other than, I think sometimes the statute says that. I don't think it does in this instance, but a lot of times when you have, and I'm going to call them special interest, that's a bad word to some people, but these members that represent certain things have a special interest. So you are kind of setting up problems for conflicts, not bad conflicts, but usually when you have a non-voting member, that person's there representing a group or their agenda and not the whole board's agenda. That's my take.
And he never questioned these 2 non-voting members.
No, but I know it's in the language, you cannot be a city employee and be a voting member of the Economic Development Board.
We have found property in the city electoral.
Yes, that, but you can't be a city employee. So Dr. Vaughn, I don't know that he would be eligible to be a voting member. Because he's a city employee, correct? Is he? He's not? School. He's the school and that's separate? Okay. Then that would be.
So it's looking for.
I'm not sure.
We're just looking for the numbers, not you guys decide the makeup of the board, so there's no hesitation.
We don't need any more. You guys have to pass bylaws that do it. We have to.
To select members? To select.
No, I mean as far as the makeup design,
Yeah,
the number.
So that's what we need to vote on one.
They've amended their bylaws. They're seeking the BOMA's approval of their bylaws because the city was the one that approved the incorporation or the organization and the founding of this entity.
And again, when we created this, I'm pretty confident Dr. Vaughn was not the first education appointment. I'm pretty confident that Mr. Crick was not the first joint industrial board appointment.
Yes, he was.
Was.
On the Greater Manchester Economic Development Board, he's just come on board as superintendent. He was the first one on there.
I thought that we had a board member recommended first. It was discussed anyway.
Okay, so we're sticking with what they're bringing to us.
Yeah, I mean,
If they want to go back and bring another one to us,
Yeah, I think, Alderman French can make a motion to not approve and send it back to them to reconsider. But I don't think an alderman can make a motion to change their bylaws.
yeah, I'm gonna make a motion that we send it back to them with the,
Well, we've got a motion already, and a second, we have a motion and a second.
I'm making a motion to amend.
so this one.
So we got to change it.
So do I hear a second on the motion to amend?
I'll say.
So right now on the table is a motion to send it back to them to make this change.
To consider just simply making the two non-voting seats, voting seats.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this?
I think I feel more comfortable listening to the ECD experts and to the legal representation of the board, so I'm going to vote against this, and that's why.
Any more discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Alderman French. Alderman Anderson.
No.
Alderman Bellamy. Alderman Hobbs. Vice Mayor Messick. Alderman Parsley. Motion fails 3-3. Or tie.
Everybody's tied.
I say no.
Motion fails.
Next, we're going to vote on, any comments on the first motion that was made that we would approve the only change to the Greater Manchester Economic Development Board by changing the members from 7 to no more than 9.
No less than 7 on there.
No less than 7, no more than 9.
Total board will be 11 people.
Up to 11 people.
Any discussion on this? If not, call the roll, please.
Alderman French. Alderman Anderson.
Aye.
Alderman Bellamy. Alderman Hobbs. Vice Mayor Messick. Alderman Parsley. Motion carries 6-0.
First ordinance, and only ordinance, is the first reading of an ordinance to amend Manchester Municipal Code 12-401 at SEC relative to building impact fees, sponsored by Vice Mayor Messick.
Do I hear a motion? Put it on the table.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded that, to amend the Manchester Municipal Code 12-403, 401. Any discussion on this?
I'll just go back to the impact for the industrial buildings. If there's a way to scale that, I'd feel a lot more comfortable than just saying, hey, we may waive it for some, may not for others. If there's a score that could be provided potentially from the Economic Development Board or the Industrial Board, Joint Industrial Board, that says this is a X number of impact, I would feel much more comfortable with that scale ability than just.
I think your dollar puts too much, say, across the board. But, Craig, am I right? We're voting on this tonight, but there'll be a second reading, right?
Right.
And at that second reading, can we make changes in this if we want to?
That would be too much. I think you can change some wording if it's not material, but I think changing the amount would be material. There's nothing wrong though with tabling it or whatever you decide to do so that you can study it more to find out what would be the right way of doing it in regards to other building types. Because I'm sure there is some municipalities and counties that have a scalable sliding scale, if you will, in regards to square footage.
I think we kicked this around long enough and we're going to do what we need to do. We've been working on this for 3 or 4 months. Bob, you mentioned putting a cap on industrial. Stephen, what do you think about that? You deal with industrial.
I do, but sir, I don't feel like I'm prepared to make a recommendation on that. I need to dive into
Put you on
what
the
you
spot a
need to
little
do.
bit. I did.
Yes.
Could we just approve the residential and leave the industrial and just start there?
Can we do that? Can we, ask,
You can make a motion to amend the ordinance that's on the table to remove all other building types. And then if somebody wants to propose next time, there'll be a separate ordinance for other building types. If that's the way you want
so
to.
that's a good idea.
You know, also, Greg, there's another question. Like in a natural disaster, do we have any kind of verbiage in there for, to waiver the permits or, you know, to set a fire?
You know, and that's a good point, Alderman Parsley. I mean, there is nothing that differentiates that. The charter speaks of new development, so I think new development would probably cover us in that circumstance. But if we're going to go back and rewrite the ordinance, I'm okay with putting new development instead of just building. So new development, building impact fees is, I think, what you're referring to.
So let's amend it and take out all other building types until we do a better job knowing what we need to do on that. Because you brought up the points and you're correct, 100%. And we need to do a little better job on that.
Does your amendment include in the title 12-410 rates for new development building impact fees?
We could say something like that. As long as we exclude something in the case of natural disaster, I'd be good with that. You know, if tornado come through and blew 14 houses down, I wouldn't want to charge an impact fee to build those 14 houses back. So however you want to word that.
The charter speaks of new development and probably should have put those words in here anyways.
Okay.
So if someone comes in and renovates townhouses, basically tear them down to bare necessities, would they be effective in, they keep the foundation? I mean,
I think that's a question for Ms. Fisk. What would be required as far as, what do we require for the difference between a rehab permit and a new building permit?
The same. If the tornado tears their house down, they still have to get a building permit. If they build a brand new house, they have to get a building permit. If they want to remodel a house because they want to remodel a house, they still have to get a building permit. I think for the impact fees, you guys need to make it really
Clear.
specific.
So that would not be considered new development unless somebody was, I mean, there's going to be a point where somebody, and it's a good question, they buy a row of townhomes knowing they're going to take it down to the foundation to build new ones. Do we call that a new development or not? I don't know. I don't have a definition of new development.
I could see people pushing that envelope.
Or couldn't we just use the word natural disaster? Yeah, and then that goes away with that, you know.
Yeah. Is a fire a natural disaster? I mean, I don't know. You can question this to death, but I don't know, if is a fire a natural disaster?
It's actually,
Well, not, if it's an arson, it's not.
I'm going to remove my motion until, I would like to see this go back and be worded, and you're right. Vice Mayor basically kicked the can down the road. But we need to have better language than this.
Well, I think this resolution is, or ordinance is one step ahead of where I thought we should be tonight. I really wanted us to just all get together and say, Craig, write us up a resolution or an ordinance. And I wanted to talk about what we wanted in that ordinance. So that's really where
we're at.
That's that. Well, let's leave it because we need to vote that.
I will.
There is a motion to approve the ordinance, so whoever made the motion can make the motion to table it.
I'm going to make a motion to table it.
Or to study, it's in the study.
It's in study.
Do I hear a second?
Well, if you're gonna table, we also want you to come here next month with an ordinance that's ready to vote on.
Right.
So, I mean, you.
Well, not being a mind reader, and I don't know what everybody's going to bring up, and I can't really talk to everybody about what they're going to vote on, but I'll do my best.
Do I hear a second to table? I have a motion. Table it. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
you have a special call meeting to discuss that if it's tabled.
Pardon?
I was asking the attorney if we table it, can we have a special call meeting to untable it?
As long as you meet the notice requirements.
So we could have a meeting, a call meeting with nothing on the agenda but this sometime between now and the next meeting to give you the wordage and thoughts that you need to put in.
You make a motion to.
I make a motion for that.
We're commenting. Okay.
Yeah, there's-
Motion has been made and seconded, table. Call roll, please.
Alderman French.
Aye.
Alderman Anderson. Alderman Bellamy.
Aye.
Alderman Hobbs.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Messick. Alderman Parsley. Motion carries 6-0.
So, you want to have the motion to come this call meeting.
We're gonna need a motion for that, do we?
You just call one, Mayor. That's your authority, call one.
Okay, all right. Moving right along.
Please make it after 4:30.
Just make sure that Alderman French can be here because he's the only one that can remove that, that can take it off the table.
The second
Okay. Okay. Right. So, yeah. So just make sure to get it out for him, and advertise it. Okay. Right now, we have on the table two, the rescue squad training waiver, use of the swimming pool. They're wanting to use the swimming pool. So, not sure, AJ, run, go over that.
So at our rec commission meeting, it was brought to the table that the rescue squad had approached us about using the pool for training this calendar year. The current ordinance we have, if I'm interpreting it right, ordinance 1672, which was enacted whenever the Mako swim team became their own entity. We charge the hourly rate for lifeguards for the swim team. There's a clause in there that says this fee structure is available for only for individual usage or nonprofit organizations. It's not available for commercial or profit uses. So if I'm interpreting it right, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Attorney Johnson, is this can apply to the rescue squad, that we could charge them the same rate that we do the Mako swim team. The rec commission voted to bring in front of the board to see if you guys would waive for the calendar year, January 2024, December 2024, any fees for their trainings.
they would qualify.
How much of an impact will that make on the use of the pool for everybody else?
They'll work around our schedule. They came to our commission meeting, we discussed it. They'll work around whatever availability we have. So it's just a matter of whether we as a city want to, in good faith effort, give them free use of the aquatic facilities.
So I'd make a motion to waive those fees.
A motion has been made and seconded to waive the fees for the rescue squad, and that they use it for diving, right? Diving training.
It'll be diving and training mainly, yes.
Any comments?
I brought this to the rec commission board, and my recollection is just that they would only need 1 or 2 lanes, so it wouldn't take up the whole pool. And I don't know how many people they sent in the class, AJ, was it maybe 10?
Roughly, yes.
Yeah, roughly 10 people in the class, and it just helps them obtain additional certifications and stay current.
This will also get other rescue squads in our surrounding area from Bedford, maybe a few from Rutherford, because there's a limited pool of dive teams, and that way they can all train together, and if they have a massive event where they go search a lake, they can call on other agencies and we're all trained to work together.
But our rescue squad is the one holding the class. There may be members from other ones, but ours is coordinated.
Any more discussion? If not, call roll, please.
Alderman French.
Aye.
Alderman Anderson.
Aye.
Alderman Bellamy.
Aye.
Alderman Hobbs. Vice Mayor Messick. Alderman Parsley. Motion carries 6-0.
Before we recognize Austin, I just want to entertain a motion to hire Paul Deggs and Mike Agee.
Make a motion.
Do I have a second on that? Okay, we have a motion and a second to hire Paul Deggs and Mike Agee. Any discussion on this?
How much are we paying, how long are we hiring?
So it is $6,000 a month, term of 1 year, but it is, you can terminate it without cause with 30 days notice as long as you both agree to the termination. Otherwise, it renews for a month to month after the 1 year. So in other words, 30 days notice, you can terminate it.
I have a question, Attorney Johnson. I'm for hiring these people. I think they're going to do great things for us. It's just since it's not on the agenda, can we bring it up?
If you do.
Yeah, it would be a resolution, so you're just voting for a resolution. You can bring it up. It was on the work session agenda tonight. And you're saying it's not on this?
It's not on our meeting agenda, so I just want to make sure we're, on solid ground.
I think Alderman Anderson's right. If you want to make that a part of a special call meeting, we're probably in a safer zone.
I have a question. We're gonna get the money to pay for them and your city
Chief of Staff?
chief of staff.
Well, I believe that they will cover, they're more than pay for themselves.
Oh, I'm not against them, I'm for them. I think they'll do a heck of a good job. But we still gotta pay them, and then you're wanting the chief of staff to oversee the projects, which we need, but can we afford both of them? I'd like the finance committee to look into that, and if they can afford it, okay, but it just seems like,
We got $1 million set aside, don't we?
It would have to be a budget, Andrew.
I'd be happy if budget. But did we not set aside some money for stuff like this, Harvey? We set aside $1 million, I know we used some of it, but we still got enough in there to fund it.
That's correct.
It did go before the finance committee, and they sent it to the board. No. They didn't, there wasn't a recommendation,
We never did make a recommendation.
they just wanted to discuss.
But we can't.
Got the money to pay for it, that suits me.
We need to save some money on hiring a project manager. Different things that you do now.
I recall the motion, so it's on.
Is there a way to vote on this tonight? I just asked Attorney Johnson, is there a way to vote on this tonight?
You're asking for a contract approval of $72,000 for the next year. It was on the work session agenda, but you can't vote on things from the work session agenda. It was not on the agenda for tonight, so an absolute answer I cannot give, but it would certainly be more safe for us to put it on either the next meeting or at least on the special call meeting.
Well, I'm gonna say this, that Paul Deggs is, I had someone that time the next meeting, that he goes to another place in their area and he works for them. I think he will be a gift, but that's my recommendation. That they're just going to pick something in this area.
Well, how soon can we schedule a special call meeting?
10 days? 10 days?
Yeah, we could have it January the 11th, let's say.
Well, surely if he knows that we're having a meeting on January 11th and he's on the agenda, you know, I would hope that he would see that our intentions are clear.
I don't think anybody doesn't want it. I think and I'm just kind of reading through it here, but I think we'll pass it unanimously, but we just want to make sure we pass it in the correct fashion to make sure that it's right.
I know that you can, but
Yeah, sure. Okay, I don't know.
if it has been presented in the work session, you have the information on the table, it said consultant, you can add it then, because there was prior discussion of it, you can add that into under new business.
So that's is that what you're doing? We're putting it under new business?
Yeah.
So can we not vote on it?
Well, I mean, just the last meeting, the land acquisition for the schools was on the agenda.
Wasn't on the agenda?
There was discussion, the $10,000 to the rescue squad wasn't on the agenda. It was under new business. It's been utilized before.
So I think if we can reasonably certain we can vote on it, we got to vote on it, let's go.
The real question is somebody going to contest it? I mean, you can get legal advice, and legal advice is offered for the best practices, okay? But if you decide as a board to do it the way you're doing it, the real question is anybody going to contest it? And it doesn't sound like anybody's going to contest it.
And what's going to change with the information? What's going to change? If it's legal to do it this way, if we have put things on, is there anything we need to bring up? We have done it before. Is there anything that's going to change anybody's mind if we have a special call meeting and vote on it?
I just offered that because you're going to have a special call meeting anyway.
I'm just saying, is there anything that's going to change?
I'm not having a special call meeting, so y'all can have a special call.
I mean, that's the question.
You tell us, Mayor, if you want us to vote on it or not. Do we have a motion? Do we make a motion? Do we have a second?
I mean, can we not make a motion and just say pending the legality of it? I mean, if that is a concern. And then you make a concrete determination, whether it's gray area or no gray area.
Well, it's definitely gray area, so you can't give a concrete legal
Sure. But
answer.
then this $1 million that we voted on in this last meeting is certainly going to be.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't that on the new business agenda for last time?
Or discussion.
Yeah, but it just says new. Yeah. Anyway, it was on the agenda, so you're in a better situation with it being on the agenda and with you not being on the agenda. And I'll be glad to look at what Ms. Kill's talking about. I'm not
And
familiar
that
with
came from
that.
in past, I don't know how many times we've had that come up in the past. If we had.
I'll take a look at what you're saying.
So if we vote on it, and it's,
Can always re-vote on
do I have a motion to?
it. Second.
Okay.
We already had a motion for French.
He pulled
Are
it.
we amending it?
No.
Our motion.
He pulled your motion.
Motion stay.
We've got a motion.
We've got a motion and a second to hire Paul Deggs and Mike Agee. Any discussion on this? Any more discussion? And we have 400,000 from CarMax that just came in.
It's on budget.
It's not budget. Whether we can transfer that over. Any discussion? Any more discussion?
I have concerns about this. I'm still going to vote for it because I think we're going to get to the bottom of whether we need to vote for it again, and we can cure it relatively soon. And I think these people can probably do a lot for us in 30 days that it might take to get back to another vote. That's my.
If we approve it tonight and you find out we boo-booed it, go ahead and approve it the next meeting.
Sure.
When we announce that special call date would be next Thursday, the 11th. So it's announced now, plus forms will be sent out immediately tomorrow. For y'all to sign if there's a question on that.
With that, and I hope we won't have to dig up a lot of
Alderman,
bad bones out.
Alderman Hawks, do you have a conflict? Do you have a commission meeting on the 11th?
Thursday,
Oh, Thursday? Okay, good.
we be at 5:30 if required.
We were gonna meet anyway on the impact fees, weren't we?
That's right. Can I just call the commission and let you know?
Okay, let's go. Call roll, please.
Alderman French.
Aye.
Alderman Anderson.
Aye.
Alderman Bellamy. Alderman Hoggs.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Messick. Alderman Parsley. Motion carries 6-0.
Okay, right now, we're gonna, Bill's gonna recognize Austin and just come up and tell what an honor it is that Austin was, got this certification.
Okay. Well,
Huh?
You can give him a raise for sitting through this meeting?
Yeah, so Austin and also Mr. Bird is here. So Mr. Bird runs the Tennessee Association of Utility Districts apprenticeship program, and Austin Heathcote, who works at our wastewater treatment plant, is the first graduate in the state of Tennessee, and he's an excellent employee. So we just wanted to honor him. He graduated, and it's not just a little thing. It's a bunch of different classes you have to take, and at the end you have to pass an examination. And he's now a wastewater treatment plant operator grade 3, which is what you guys need, and it's pretty decent. So. Standing ovation.
Mr. Bird, come up and speak big.
Well, I'd just like to take just a moment of your time to thank you for your leadership. Thank Phil Miller for his leadership and understanding what this program can do. And it's a big deal to TAUD, and it's a big deal to the state of Tennessee. We had representatives in town back in December, and the mayor hosted a little ceremony here for us, and I greatly appreciate that, and greatly appreciate Austin for his fortitude and his work ethic in getting this done. You now have a multi-certified hybrid operator that is really going to strengthen your wastewater program, and it's great for the future of Manchester. And TAUD is just proud to be a part of it, and congratulate Manchester on having the very first in the state. And it's a big deal to us and a big deal to the state of Tennessee. So thank you very much.
And it's a mentorship program that not only just for wastewater, but other areas that
Absolutely. He will be, he's multi-certified, by the way. He doesn't just have the one certification. He has many certifications that come as a part of it, but not only is he certified as an operator in wastewater, but he has a background in water treatment as well, which makes him that hard-to-find hybrid operator that can very versatile. And again, I want to, this program requires mentorship for the on-the-job training portion, the 4,000 hours that he logged over this program, and Phil Miller was the mentor here from Manchester, and his leadership has been invaluable to the success of Austin as well. So thank you all for letting me speak tonight, and thank you, Austin. Thank you, Phil, for the hard work.
And just re-emphasizing that when we went to the utility meetings at TMA, they were saying very few young, there are very few young operators for water and sewer. That most of the, you can see the number of operators, but a lot of those operators are older, getting ready to retire, and they have multiple licenses. So the fact that you mentored Austin, and Austin, get this, is a very big deal to our water and sewer department. And I just say congratulations and thank you for the mentorship for Phil and also the program that you brought. Because these tasks are hard, and a lot of young people, they're working, and it just takes that mentorship that somebody's putting into them. And I just thank you so much. Thank you.
If we can get a picture real quick, Austin, if y'all would just turn around right there with the board in the background. Okay. On 3, 1, 2, 3.
So now let's give Austin a big hand.
This was supposed to have been a short meeting. Sorry. Thank you. Hanging in there. Okay, now any comments from the board? If not, I have a motion to adjourn. Do I hear a second? All in favor say aye. Motion, meeting adjourned.